Hi guys! So welcome to my new Monday series. Every other Monday we're going to work with Maggie Holmes, and I am calling it Maggie Holmes Monday. So this week, Shadney and Christy's Beautiful Life are both joining me, and I will be sure to link their channels below so you'll have access to their videos. They're probably up earlier than mine, but you know. So let's talk about what we're going to work with today. I started all of my layout planning with this pattern paper. So this is a 6x8 pattern paper from Carousel. Has some gold foil on it. And from this, I pulled all of my embellishments, all of my projects. I chose a photo that would go with this paper and work with this paper. And yeah, I went with this and kind of went from there. So I chose this photo, which is an older photo, but it's still adorable, of my niece. So this is going to be the photo we're going to use. And then I pulled from my Maggie Holmes stash all of the light pink, all the yellows, all the golds. Am I going to use all of this? Probably not. But there are a couple of things that I really want to use. So this one that says, this acetate piece that says Gather Memories, I want to make sure to get this on this layout because I feel like if I don't, I probably wouldn't use it. I'm sorry if you can hear noise in the background. Hold on, I'll shut the door. My youngest son is doing dishes and while he's doing that before he goes back to school, I'm like, oh, I can squeeze in a little intro. Another thing I really want to make sure to use on this layout is this piece. So this is from Carousel, and it is like an interactive card. Super cute, but I definitely want to get this on. And then somewhere in here, there's a black swan die cut that I also, there it is, this one. I'm never going to use this if I don't get it on this page. So this swan die cut, this swan card, this acetate need to get on this page. That's my goal. And then I also have little bits and pieces of some other things that I can just kind of tuck and add to the layout. I'm super close to finishing this set of thickers. So I'm really wanting to kind of, I think I'm going to be pulling this for the next couple of layouts until it's empty because I'd really like to get some of it done. And I feel like this bloom would work with my colors. I feel like this would work with my colors. I feel like this would work with my colors. I have this little cute girl that I think would work with my photo. And so I'm going to try to use up more of this sheet. And then between this layout and maybe the layout in 2 weeks, I want to try to get this. So, and I have this too. This is going to be my background. I'm going with a pattern paper background. I think this is from Chasing Dreams, yes. And I have 2 of these sheets of paper, so if you really like the blue roses, we'll get to those another day, I think. I also pulled out some splatters because a lot of the die cuts that I chose to work with have a bit of splatter to them, and so I thought maybe a little splatter on the layout in a couple places would be nice. We'll see if I used it or not. Anything else? If you are looking to see all of my Maggie Holmes pages I create, my Cut to You design team layout that the video came live on Friday. That one uses my Maggie Holmes Stash 2. And I do have one more layout, but that one was for my members only. So you'll see that one at the end of the month for my How to Kill a Kit layout wrap up, unless you want to come and join my membership. But no pressure. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Let's get started on this and see where we go. I'm going to start off by using lots of splatters. So in my head, I had kind of had this idea that I would use a more diagonal design on my layout. I figured that would accommodate the elements I really wanted to use, and it would also help with just giving me a starting off place, right? Somewhere to kind of build from for this part of the layout. So I'm gonna do a ton of splatters. It's gonna look like a lot, but in the end, you're not gonna see it all, obviously, because I'm gonna layer everything on top. So it looks much more toned down than it will as I go through these colors. I'm working from my darkest color splatters, which is this black, and I'm working from dark to light. The reason I'm doing that is because my white is the gloss accent spray, and I know it'll cover. It's very thick and it covers, it's very opaque. So I figured if I have a bad splatter going on somewhere that I don't like and I want to cover, I can just cover it with that white and it'll work. It'll, you know, fix it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna go through here. I'm gonna do a ton of splatters in all these different color sprays, and then I'm gonna let everything dry just a little bit. Sprays and splatter dry really, really fast, so I don't need to let it set for a long time, but I know that especially that gloss spray does take, you know, a minute or two, and I don't want to smudge anything, and I've been known to smudge stuff if I start building my layout too quickly. So while I wait for that little bit of drying time, I'm gonna go ahead and map my photo. I'm gonna use that swan paper that I was really, really excited and that I kind of based my whole layout on. But the funny thing is that because I used it to back my photo, in the end, you don't really see a lot of it. And I'm just gonna go with it. It's totally fine. It started as my inspiration piece. It gave me direction for my layout, and it worked really well in that regard. It really helped kind of get my colors together and things like that. So I'm just gonna try to decide what kinds of layers I want here. I'm gonna kind of audition and give myself an idea of what I wanna do. I'm determined to get those 3 ephemera pieces on this layout that I really, really wanted to use, and I do get all 3 of them on, so that's awesome. One of the reasons I have such a huge Maggie Holmes stash and why I keep adding to it, you're gonna see in this video, I am able to work with her products and her patterns and her designs so easily. This layout came together in about half an hour from start to finish, and I just think that sometimes you have designers or companies and you just have the ability to take their products and work with them in really beautiful ways. And her product line is definitely one of those for me. Even going through all that product and choosing this little kind of mini kit to work with, or page kit to work with, it wasn't hard. I knew what was there, I knew what I had purchased and what I had bought. And so I was really able to get this layout together quickly, which works perfectly because currently we are in school and I am a homeschool mama. So between playing with this layout and getting this layout done, I was also making sure that my youngest son got to homeroom and got his pre-algebra finished. So that worked out really, really well. So I went ahead and I added that 4x6 card with the little movable piece with the swan on right there. And you can see here that my design has changed. So instead of keeping everything on the diagonal, I am kind of just clustering everything around my photo, and then I'm gonna create one little like embellishment cluster up at the top. And the splatter still worked just fine. And I actually like this a little bit better because I think if I had stuck to that idea of clustering kind of everything on that one diagonal line, I think I probably would have ended up covering like all of the splatter. And I really like what it does. So here's where I figure out where I'm gonna put this little acetate. So I decide it's gonna go up at the top. So I'm gonna find the little clear film on it, pull that off, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna staple it to the top up here. That's just the easiest way. Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive is a good adhesive if you really want to glue something down, but usually when I'm using vellum or acetate, I find that I will either glue it and then tuck it where I glued it under something, or do what I did in this case, which is to add just 2 staples at the top. And while I didn't even plan this, I was super excited when I realized that the swans face opposite directions, so I could place one on either side of my photo, and that would work great. Okay, let's look at what the next thing I want to do is. I definitely want to add this little die cut piece. I liked it as being kind of part of my title, or I just really liked it. It was really cute. It said a lot of what I wanted, maybe some journaling to say or some sentiments I wanted to convey. I want to make sure that I put the month and the year that this photo was taken onto the layout. And I'm going to do that by adding these gold tile letter stickers to the top of this tag. Now, obviously, these tile stickers, they don't stick. So I'm using my New Vitalist adhesive to just kind of get them down, get them stuck onto my little tag here. And then I'm going to grab some black and white twine from my stash and add a little bow at the top of it. And that way I have 3 areas of black, so that black swan doesn't look odd and out of place. It kind of coordinates with the rest of my layout design. So I'm going to cut the bottom of that tag off, and that allows me to kind of just tuck it underneath some of the layers that I have going on here. And I really like how this turns out. After I get this tag tucked in, the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I add some of those puffy stickers. I'm really going to work hard to get these puffy stickers all onto layouts and finished up this month. That's kind of like my goal for this month. I want to get that set of puffy stickers used up. I'm going to use 2 of the puffy stickers. I kind of wish I just didn't have room for the other ones, and nothing kind of fit well, but that little banner fit really well up there. Added a bit of yellow up to the top, and then I know I want to use this little cute girl and tuck it under my black swan. Now it's time to layer on the flowers. So I am going to cut some of these flowers in half. I'm going to use some of them whole. I'm going to tuck them in and around all the different areas of my layout. There were a couple that just seemed to fit perfectly in certain spots, and then there were a couple that I needed to kind of manipulate and move around a little bit. I love how that top cluster, that one rose at the top cluster, the yellow one, it kind of like matches the curve of my wreath perfectly, and it just tucked right in there so good. I was super excited about that. So I'm really just taking these flowers and I'm tucking them in, I'm tucking them around. I'm gonna cut a couple of them in half, but I'm not really, at this point, we've gotten to the point where, right, we don't want to save them. We want to make all the flowers and all the floral clusters. And so I'm just gonna have a really good play. I'm gonna move these all around. I'm gonna pop some of them up onto some foam tape and some foam squares to give them a little bit more dimension, and I'm just gonna kind of stick and plunk and create some beautiful floral clusters around my layout. And once I have all those flower pieces down, I'm just gonna snip off the edges. So some of them are gonna look like they run off the page, which is a design element that I really enjoy. And that's it. We're gonna call this one done. How awesome is that? I hope you have enjoyed my first Maggie Holmes Monday. I am super excited to show you more creations and more layouts in upcoming weeks. Have a wonderful day. Bye.